Have you ever seen one of those girls who's just crushing life? I mean, she seems so focused and on top of her game. She excels at what she does. She's got an upbeat attitude and she doesn't waste time with self-doubt or negativity. I mean, this girl is strong and beautiful and she's always working hard and pushing past failure to success. She's a ninja babe, and that's you. You are that girl who has confidence oozing out of her skin. You crush it on the ninja course and you follow after your dreams full throttle. You focus on being you and don't compare your journey to somebody else's. Maybe you're listening to this and thinking, gosh, I wish I was that girl. Well, be her. We are all capable of being the best version of ourselves that we can be. And that's what Ninjababes is all about. Not because we are perfect or like to pretend that we are. As the Ninjababe community, we support and encourage one another to excel at what we do. We are here for each other like sisters, and we aren't afraid to be transparent about our failures. It's about being willing to be yourself and inspire others to do the same and be strong in their own journeys. Hey, it's Kara coming at you from the Ninjababes, and I am in Venice, California on the West Coast, far away from the East Coast, but I'm sitting next to the lovely Natalie Duran.
Yeah, what's up?
Welcome to the Ninjababes podcast. I'm your host, Kara Palillo, and I have some exciting announcements for you before we dive into the interview with Ninja Natalie. There's some awesome Ninjababes events coming up. I will be guest coaching at High Exposure Climbing in Northvale, New Jersey for a few of the Ninja Camp dates coming up in August. That would be August 23rd, 28th, and 30th in the afternoon. I'll be there having a bunch of fun with the kids and, of course, have Ninjababes merch and all that good stuff, but I'm really excited to meet everybody and play around on the obstacles. Those are going to be really fun afternoons. Then on Wednesday, August 29th from 7 to 9, I will be in Staten Island with Taylor Sriracha. Taylor is a motivational speaker for teenage girls, and she started the group True Beauty Queens. We're really excited to partner together for this event geared toward girls. We will be talking about topics that I love, like dreaming and building your identity and self-confidence. So if you are around in the New Jersey, New York area, I would love if you come out to one of these events. The Dream On event is on Eventbrite. Everything is also posted on the ninjababes.com. And once again, you can check out High Exposure Climbing to get more information for those camp dates. All right, back to Natalie Duran. Hey.
Hey.
Is this where you grew up or no?
Yeah. What's weird about Los Angeles, not weird, but, it's a big city. A lot of people are transplants coming from all over the world. And I always call myself the rare one because I was born and raised in Southern California, where majority of people here are transplants. But I love LA so much. I solidified that when I went to New York for the first time. And I was like, nope, it was freezing. And I was like, nope. I like my consistent 75 degree and or 100 degree weather.
And or. New York has all the seasons, but I feel like in New York when it gets hot, everything smells like pee, and it's just too hot. It's too much. You can't cool off unless you go inside someone's air conditioning. It's just bad.
No, I love this place a lot.
That's good. Well, I've had the honor of spending the week in your homeland then.
Yeah, welcome.
The places where you climb ropes with your toes and, do all those fun things outside.
Oh, yeah. What people should know that Los Angeles is gigantic. There's different enclaves just scattered around, but West Side is the best, which means like Santa Monica. Right here, we're in Venice Beach right now. And it's nothing but good vibes, bro. Like, the whole hippie lifestyle is really cheesy when you come here, but it gets to you. And then I start saying things like, I'm sending you positive vibes and like gratitude, man, gratitude. And I mean, honestly, it gets to you and it makes me a happy person because it reflects on how fortunate like we are being here and just being alive and thankful for everything on a day-to-day basis, really.
I'm totally down for that. And I have noticed that people are like more outspokenly nice, at least than they are in Jersey and New York when I'm used to. Because a couple of people seriously out of nowhere gave me a compliment on the street, and I was just like, you talking to me? Like, I was just like, what? So that was interesting, and I was like, wow, people are kind of nice here.
Yeah, I think that people are genuinely nice because there's kind of like, I call it the Starbucks nice versus genuinely nice, because the Starbucks nice is be like, hi, how are you doing today? Sure. When then the inside, they really don't care. But I think with the West Side people, like, I think we learned to, you see people walk down the street and you didn't know, they look homeless, but they also are a CEO of like a tech company. So it's kind of like a de-gaff vibe, but then also, trying to shave off that facade and just connect with each other.
Did you ever want to live anywhere else?
No. What I'm thankful
Wow.
for about the ninja world, is that like I've been traveling with the show for the past couple years, and thankfully I've been invited to just like even international kind of places to compete with ninja. And every time I fly back and LAX, you fly over the ocean, you see Santa Monica, and I always shed a single tear. It's really dramatic, but I shed a single tear, and I'm like, I'm home.
Oh, that's really precious.
Yeah.
It's good to know that you are home and you love home, though.
Yeah, totally. It's a comfortable space. And then I get really excited when I have friends that come through and I get to like, show them Santa Monica and all the different areas like around LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like Bulletproof Labs. It's a fun place.
Oh, yeah. I was just there today.
Yeah.
Getting my PEMF on. I was about to try and mimic how it sounds because it's really difficult.
It is.
Because it's like shocking your body, but not really.
It sounds
like
terrifying,
this.
right. But
Yeah.
it's the whole biohacking world that's, it's awesome.
Pulsing electromagnetic frequencies.
There you go.
To my muscles.
Science,
It's so good. I know the science. But I think you know the science better, right?
Yeah.
Someone over here is actually like a laboratory nerd, correct?
Yeah, like what a lot of people don't know is in my past life, I have a neuroscience degree and I, specialize in medicine where I got my degree in neuroscience with a medical emphasis, and then straight out of college, I interned at UCLA, and I hustled so hard and showed my worth that they hired me on staff within 3 months. Wow. And I did clinical research in gastroenterology, more specifically inflammatory bowel disease. And then also more specifically, I published a paper on stem cell therapy in inflammatory bowel disease.
That's amazing.
Yeah, mouthful, right?
It is mouthful.
It was, I did that actually part-time, so I could still part-time focus on being a professional climber at the time too. And then also there was a kind of transition to be like a ninja. So part of it was a self-fulfilling prophecy to fulfill my parents' dream of me being a doctor.
Wait, does it have to, I'm not trying to, but is it because you're Asian?
Like, 100% because I'm Asian. There's a big pressure in being first generation Asian American.
Yeah. Because
our parents remind us they sacrifice so much, which is all true. Like, I don't blame them, but yeah, they sacrifice a lot coming to this country, leaving behind their whole families. And I always make the joke that the day I was pushed out of my mom's womb, I was destined to become a doctor. That's what my mom always says. But, 50% of it was like forced, and then 50% was I actually really do enjoy science. Yeah. Like it gave me an understanding of the world beyond what we see, and I love neuroscience because it gave me a biological understanding of how the brain works, especially if I, get really pissed off or depressed. If I think about it in an analytical way, like these are just neurotransmitters freaking out, and all these, these certain like dopamine and serotonin and fluctuations. Weirdly enough, that calms me down.
Okay, on the plane here, I just watched that movie. Do you know which movie I'm talking about? It's like something about the female brain, female mind, all right, have you... No, but it's literally what you're saying. So if you haven't seen this movie, you should.
Oh, cool. I should see this. It sounds like directly familiar.
Okay, so I'm going to Google this really quick.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, though... Wait, I found it.
Nice.
The Female Brain.
It's a documentary or movie?
It's a movie, but they talk about everything you just said. They literally talk about that in the movie.
It sounds dope.
It's kind of like a rom-com mixed in a documentary, if that's possible, but that's what it is.
Oh, I'm going to watch that then. I'm jumping on a flight to Michigan in a couple weeks, so I'm going to put that on there.
Perfect. So in your first submission video, did you do something with science? I'm just wondering. I don't know if this is true.
Yeah, well, I guess the way I also got brought into Ninja was pretty different and unique. Okay. Where it was season 5. A lot of people don't remember my run because it was so long ago. But quickly, like I was mentioning, so this was around college time. I think I just graduated college. And then, but I have a unique job throughout college and throughout my career is that I was like a YouTube vlogger.
Yeah.
Like starting back in the day of YouTube, when before all the cat memes. And I would just talk to my computer and I would just share random bits of my life, and it was more like comedic. But then when I started transitioning to becoming like a professional rock climber, I would share my stories on like climbing and stuff like that. And because I was pretty prevalent on the interweb sphere, I guess the casting producers were trying to find more and more women. Mm-hmm. That's when the year Jessie Graff was dressed in a chicken suit. Yeah. And I think the year before, or that season, Casey was the first woman up the tower. And that's when I got brought onto the show. I don't know how they found my phone number, but I answered the phone. They're like, "Hi, we're the casting producer, American Ninja Warrior. Have you heard of it?" And honestly, I've never heard of the show before because I never could watch TV because my face was in a book the whole time, the whole being Asian thing. And then I quickly YouTubed everything and I called them back. I was like, "This looks terrifying. I'm a rock climber. I don't do parkour or I'm not a gymnast." And they're like, "It's okay. You'll have fun." And 2 weeks later, I got brought onto the Venice course and it was insane. It was my first experience like being on a full-blown production like that. I'm used to just recording videos in my room and did horrible. Like I fell on the second obstacle. It was a door frame slider where think of like a door frame and then it slides down this whole thing and it drops. Yeah. And I fell, and then I felt really insecure about that whole failure because I had this amazing opportunity, but I feel like I just scrambled it up. But that was a kind of transition where I let that failure motivate me. And I didn't go back on the show until 2 or 3 years later because I've been slowly more transitioning my training from climbing to more dynamic, more ninja, jumping on things. And it was the one defining moment where Neil Craver, Crazy Craver, sent me a DM on Instagram. He was like, "So you don't know me, but there's this like new show called Team Ninja Warrior they're coming up with, and you look like you're strong and you look like you have the most fun, so would you be on my team?" I was like, "Oh my god, this sounds so cool. I love it." And yeah, we've never met before, and we met a few days before we started recording, and it ended up being I was undefeated for the whole season and I did really great, and that's when I came back on the regular show and was one of the finalists for city finals along with Jessie Graff. And this was before the new girls rule. So I earned my spot in finals. So it was really awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Snaps.
I love that story. I never heard the whole story.
Yeah, totally.
That's really
It's
cool.
one of those like not so obvious transitions.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. Heartwarming. And now, okay, so now, Dream Team, you guys with all your gold shinies.
Oh, yeah.
Kramer and
yeah.
How... Yeah. Did that just start like a best friend trio? Like what?
100%. Like even though we'd never met each other, the first time training was just like a ridiculous hot mess. But it was so much fun because I feel like we all connect like so well in our silly little ways and we feed off of each other's energy, and also because we have our different strengths. Mm-hmm. But I think a key of is it we don't judge each other, you know. We're all ridiculous, but it kind of, and we also check each other's emotions. Which why I appreciate those boys so much because they've seen me in the deepest like hole of mental and like physical struggle if I failed in any way. But they always remind me like of my strengths and they've picked me up. So I appreciate those guys so much because I don't think I've bonded with anyone that strong so quickly. But when you're in these ninja situations and in competition settings, a little like word of motivation goes a long way. Even though as cheesy as it is, be like, "You got this, you are strong." You know what I mean? In the right settings, it gets to your brain and you're like, "Yeah, I am strong. I do got this." And then they help me so much like in those situations.
So wait, which neurotransmitter is that's going off if you're receiving encouragement that you really need?
Oh, you know, dopamine has a lot to do with it. Okay. That kind of is synonymous with adrenaline. But in the weirdest way, people are like, "Dang, you must have a crazy rush when you're climbing up that pole and stuff like that." But I'm like, actually, I don't want an adrenaline rush because I want to be in complete control of my body. And when adrenaline gets in your system, you start hesitating your movements, you start hesitating your thoughts, and sometimes you don't have full control of your body. Mm-hmm. So I like to just have like a calm mind before I do any competition or anything like remotely sketchy.
Remotely sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relatively sketchy, you know, within ninja good reason.
Yeah. I feel like my within good reason has greatly changed since starting ninja.
Oh, 100%.
I was like way more cautious about life, I feel like, in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And ninjas just have this wild personality and it just draws the adventure out of you even more.
Oh,
I've always loved exploring and like trying new things. But something about ninjas where they're just like their sense of what danger is so like out there compared to what mine used to be. So it just like really has drawn me out of my comfort zone even more, and I love it.
And that's what I love about the ninja community, and that's why I think it's so relevant for all the listeners to follow us on social media, like mine, Ninja_Natalie. But for a good reason. Like when we're filming, we have competitions. I have the most lit snaps only because you think walking from a hotel to the dinner location is like, that's pretty boring. You're walking. But if you're with a group of ninjas, things get lit quick. Like we were walking just a couple blocks with like Najee Richardson and Barclay. And Najee was just jumping over poles into traffic, but like dodging it. But it was like controlled, you know what I mean? And then Austin Gray preeing and doing parkour moves like over fences and almost dying, but it's fun. It's what makes it exciting.
Gotta love it. Love those ninjas. So season 5, you said, was your first time ever on the show, right? Mm-hmm. After you felt like you didn't do so well that course, I'm just wondering, did that like motivate you to want to learn ninja better, or did that kind of
100%.
Okay.
I mean, after any failure, like definitely I'm disappointed in myself. Mm-hmm. But I think it's okay to have those feelings because you want something to kind of like grow from that. You want something to motivate you from that. So a lot of these ninja competitions, when I fall in the water, it's a big bummer. And I initially think like, how much did I screw myself over? Like, I'm not going to go to finals and stuff like that. But I had to take a conscious moment and say like, this one moment doesn't define my strength. And it shouldn't like change my personality and positivity. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what really kind of led to my success in the show, in the sense of, the producers asked me back for these different gigs, like Red Nose Day every year, where like this past season I fell in the second obstacle, but it was a big fat bummer. But I think the way I present myself and being really positive and influential and always just try to come out of that failure, it was still kind of like my upbringing, and it was really awesome to be part of Red Nose Day. Like we raised like $30,000 for kids. That's like insane. Yes. I definitely cried like on my drive home. I was like, we just did that. Oh. Doing the thing we loved. Doing stuff for kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
All about the kiddos. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I feel like I personally always had a struggle with failure. Like when I was like in high school, college, failure like really ate away at me.
Right.
And ninjas just really taught me to embrace it, and just like you said, like it sucks, but you can always learn something from it and move on. And I think that's like one of the greatest lessons I've learned from ninja so far, is just like to learn what you can and like know that it's like failures almost become like a level. Like, okay, this is where I hit my ceiling.
Yeah, you know where your weaknesses are, for sure.
Then you know like what to work on.
Yeah.
Is there anything else like with failure that you've learned or just helped you develop from?
I think more than anything too, a reason why I'm such a genuinely happy person I am today is years ago I made a conscious decision to not let people's opinions about me get to me, which I think kind of ties into failure. Like when you think you failed at something is because someone maybe gave you a shitty compliment or something like that, or called you a certain name. But after getting over people's expectations of me or how I look or how I act, and getting over that and not caring about what people think, I think is one of the biggest reasons why I could get over failure, and the reasons why I could be a happy person.
So good.
Yeah.
So how did you start riding motorcycles?
Oh yeah.
Did someone teach you? Like, did you have like an epic like girl crush on some other girl cyclist, and then you're like, yeah, I want that?
No, it's funny because like when I started, the moment I knew I wanted to ride a motorcycle is like when I saw, it was probably a guy, but I wasn't staring at the guy, I was staring at the motorcycle. I was like, dang, that's a sexy motorcycle. And it was like this vintage bike. And then that was the moment where I was like, it had something inside of me that I always wanted to ride. And the first time I got on a bike and I took a class, always take a safety class. That's what I always have a big opinion on. Take a safety class. And when I first got on a bike and I finally felt comfortable, it was one of those things, just like ninja, just like climbing, is something inside of me always loved this, but I finally got the opportunity to kind of like let it out and fully experience it. And that's when I started riding motorcycles. And then the following year, that's when I started flying planes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you fly planes too. I forgot about that. So is that also just like, that plane is sexy? Like... Like, how did that happen?
Well, that one was like a beautiful blessing in disguise. And when I feel like people should always kind of grow their social media and be a positive influence on social media, is that I actually got invited by this company called Sky Combat Ace.
Okay.
And they had me to fly out their planes, one of those fighter engine combat aerobatic airplanes. I was like, cool, that sounds dope. And then when I got there, they're like, okay, they started briefing me on how to fly the plane. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? I thought I was just going to sit in there. They're like, no. You're going to fly the plane also. And I was like, okay. I've never felt so nervous before in such a long time because this is a big responsibility.
Yeah.
It's like my life and another dude's life behind me. But I remember also, which is why I love flying, is I always shed a single tear, like I told you, when I come back landing. But when he took off, there was so much G-force, I think it just forced a tear out of my eyeball. And then it was one of those like sensations that you feel like you're on a roller coaster. And then you get to control that. It was insane. Like doing barrel rolls. Mm-hmm. The gnarliest one was I pulled the nose of the plane up towards the sky, didn't see any ground. And then the pilot in command shuts the engine off. And the propeller stops spinning. So you're just mentally, you see it stop and the plane starts falling and you have to do the maneuver. You pull the yoke back and then you do a complete spin around and then he flips it on at the right position. And after that, I vomited and I felt so nauseous. But there was something about that. And I was like, I love this so much. How do I do this all the time? I literally was running around the airport with a chicken cut, with like a head cut off, telling everyone, this is so cool. This is so cool. And people are like, you could get your private pilot's license. This is a thing. So then I started taking classes and I'm on like a one-on-one course with a certified flight instructor and I fly a Cessna 172, the little planes. Freaking awesome.
So cool.
It's so cool.
Okay, so wait, rewind the story because as you're explaining this, it's basically like looking like a cartoon world in my mind. So, you know, with the plane. So... Sorry, but when you said you threw up, were you still on the plane when you threw up?
Oh, thankfully. No. So thankfully I got off the plane. I was like, where's the restroom? I just need a tinkle. And I'm like, nope, I definitely got to vomit.
Because I'm imagining like cartoon splatter all over like the windshield.
Oh yeah, inside. For like that $100,000 plane, I'm trying not to defile it. So no, thankfully I waited before I was in the bathroom in the ground.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, me too.
That's really cool. So how often have you flown now?
It fluctuates. When it's off season for Ninja, I would go like once or twice a week, and then I'm usually in the air for 3 or 4 hours.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, and I do my own landings too, which is insane. Which I thought you would, take a while, like a whole half a year, but it was within 3 weeks or a month that he was like, "All right, you're gonna do your first landings today," and I'm like, and my butt cheeks clenched 100%. And then I was like, I remember in the air I had to consciously relax my butt cheeks and relax my muscles because you have to stay relaxed for the plane. And I think the funniest thing about being a strong, fit woman who has control issues is that I was gripping the yoke, which is the steering wheel of the plane. I was gripping it so tight it was actually detrimental to like flying in control because the plane wants to fly itself. So my flight instructor told me I cannot fly with 2 hands. He slapped my hand off. I could only fly the plane with 1 hand. And apparently, 1 hand, I still have too much grip. So I could only fly the plane with my index finger and my thumb.
Wow.
Yeah. It works. Sounds super sketchy, I know, but it actually helps out a lot more when I have less muscle control for the plane.
But yeah, lady pilot.
Yeah, lady pilot.
Look at you.
I love it so
I
much.
feel so proud even though. I don't know.
Thank you for being so proud. I mean, it's not without like sacrifices. I live a very free and open life. I feel I have a lot of control with, but like I haven't been in a relationship for like 4 years, which sounds gnarly, but I think it was also because there was a conscious decision where I redefined what happiness is, which kind of ties back into not giving an F what people think about you, and kind of in a way where, the definition of happiness doesn't always mean like, you have to have a boyfriend, you have to have a family like right now. So I found out I was just really happy, traveling by myself in different countries like Japan and Italy, and not sacrificing what what a partner is, and not just like succumbing to someone just because they're there.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that, because I think I really get annoyed with that mindset of like, oh, I need to find someone to complete me, or like
100%. I get
not
so ticked with the phrase that says like he's the second half to my whole. I'm like, no, girl, you be whole you. He's like an accessory to that, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like he's my missing puzzle piece, or like
exactly
you're walking around with a hole in you, like
exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's why I want to shift like women's perspectives. Like, be single, find who you are. Because I mean, I was in a relationship for 2 years, and I remember coming out of that, I didn't know who I was like without him, kind of thing. And it's not without fault. I think it happens to all of us. You just get in a comfortable zone, and a lot of it is they define kind of who you are. But I've been so happy trying to find who I was coming out of that, and I found out I just love to be free.
That's awesome.
And do what I want to do on my own time, kind of thing, which kind of ties into accepting the fact that I am selfish with my own time, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because as long as I'm just like motivated to kind of like inspiring others and furthering myself in this world.
Mm-hmm. There's been times that I've felt like, am I selfish for wanting to do my own thing? But I don't know, even just starting Ninjababes, like I so want it to be about the community, and I'm selfish in the fact that like I've put aside so time from so many other things in my life to like really push Ninjababes, like grow everything with the brand and the podcast. Totally. And it's not, I mean, I can look at it like I'm being selfish, but I can also look at it like this isn't even supposed to be about me.
Right.
And so it's like, if you're giving your life for like something positive, something good, there's no shame in that. Absolutely.
Never.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it always pays off in the end. It's the subtle moments where that's why I always feel like people should just always aim to live their life to influence others. That's what I love about Ninja Warrior and being on the show, is that when I meet people in person, like little kids or adults or like women who've already been grown up, and seeing how much I've been an impact in their lives, like puts me to freaking tears, bro, you know? And those are the moments that make it worth it for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going back to the single thing. I'm also single. Been single for a year now, actually over a year. But yeah, I think there's so much value in just like really knowing yourself.
Totally.
And like knowing how you like to travel, like how do you like to operate, like what makes you independent and makes you successful. Like I have so many friends that they can't remember a time in their life that they were single for more than like 5 or 6 months. Right. And that's not a lot. Like to me, I've so valued the times that I was on my own, because I could really see like what made Kara tick, and like exactly how did I problem solve on my own, how did I do all this stuff on my own. So, and I think it's those moments too where if something goes wrong, you literally can't blame anything but yourself. I think we all are kind of guilty in the aspect of in the private lives where if something like goes wrong, you could easily blame the other person for it, and it's just a natural instinct, unfortunately. But when shit hits the fan, you could only blame yourself, especially if you're on your own and you're doing your thing. Mm-hmm. For sure. So now that you've been a ninja for a while, do you feel like going on the ninja track for a while, or do you have other projects or things in mind? Like, oh my gosh, I love the ninja life. Right now, I could weirdly say I'm a full-time ninja. It's been cool because I've actually never traveled the nation, or never had the desire to. I would always just book flights to Europe and stuff like that. But what was really unique about traveling with Ninja Warrior the past 2 seasons is that I went to different cities I never thought I would love. Mm-hmm. Like Kansas City, super dope. Minneapolis, loved it. Yeah. And I think it's cool because I get to experience the kind of different cultures throughout America. And not only that, I'll see all my ninja friends. Which is crazy about the ninja world, is that there's so many competitions and so many different like meetups that I actually see my friends who live in the East Coast more than I do my friends in LA. Because even in LA, like 5 miles is like 2 hours. But that's kind of what I love about Ninja. And then also it just having this positive platform to kind of share my story and just share my personality, really found like I have a newfound love of just like hosting and kind of being like a face and influencing people. So I have kind of tying into what I have, like I fly planes and I ride motorcycles. I want like a TV show where I just fly planes to awesome places and then ride a motorcycle to like the little areas and then just like share people's stories and meet like dope people. And also how I found with climbing changed my life, and then kind of sharing the different worlds of movement. Like
of like what I think like my friend Modern Tarzan, when you ask him, like, what sport do you do? He's like, I'm a movement artist. And I was like, yes, you are. And like, you know, just sharing with the nation that you don't have to do conventional sports like baseball, basketball, or you don't have to do running to stay fit. You could do things like rock climbing or parkour that excite you from the inside because it's creative forms of movement.
I'm all about creativity. I'm a painter as well. And so I think that's part of why I love Ninja is it's so out of the box and you can set up a course or work on a certain skill or a move and it's never the same or you're never just like doing the same activity. There's so many ways to even just focus on upper body or lower body one day. Like I love how like you can change anything up and that's 100%. Like my favorite part. Yeah.
You don't need a lot of things. Like think of what calisthenics are and it's just a bar. It's just a pull-up bar and they do just the gnarliest things with it. So I think it's also cool. That's why following ninjas on Instagram is awesome because they start with just the basic thing. And when you have close proximity people that are nuts from different athletic backgrounds, we just feed off of each other's energy. And before you know it, we're like stacking our bodies on top of each other while doing a pull-up over, water.
And, I never thought about it that way, but it's probably why ninjas are so creative because we pull from each other's backgrounds with climbing or track and field or whatever your sport is or even just your profession. Like we all pull from those different skill areas. That's really
I mean, that's why I think ninja is so unique and that's why I don't think there should be a different course for women because a lot of people think we should have our own TV show. I'm like, nah. No. Like we do fine crushing the same course as the dudes is that we all come from our different backgrounds, gymnasts, rock climbers, pole vaulters, and we all do the same course. And, you have to get through the whole course and you have to have upper body strength. You have to have the balance skills. And I think most of it, you have to have confidence, which is a lot of ninja. So that's what I love about the sport so much is that, you know how like Olympic athletes come to the show and they highlight them, but really they only have like one skill set and they don't do as well as some of the people like us who dedicate their training specifically for ninja.
I also really like how sparkly your helmet is.
Oh yeah.
Do you have multiple helmets?
I do. I have multiple sparkly helmets. Increases visibility when it's glitter surrounded,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it.
Do you have a favorite helmet?
This one. I love this helmet. This helmet is like my favorite one because it's like I wish it was gold, but it's silver flake and then I got a custom decal.
Ninja Natalie.
It says Ninja Natalie in the back of the helmet, which is good because it kind of makes sense that there's something when you ride a motorcycle that brings anger out of you when people are stupid. And then, like, I've definitely, flipped the bird and, like, yelled at people. But I remember my name is the back of my helmet, so they could find me. They could definitely find me.
Not just your name, it's your
ninja
name.
I know.
So there.
It reminds me I need to calm down when I road rage and just go on my merry way and just be thankful I'm still alive,
Yes. I've actually encountered many instances where someone finds out I'm a ninja and they automatically up their moral settings for me and they're like, oh, you're a ninja, like, okay, like you must be very virtuous or just like not even virtuous but like a good person. You must be a good person.
That's good. No, I've never.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think because I always just put across good face that I'm like of just like happy-go-lucky kind of stuff.
I think once too, I'm trying to remember what the last time it happened was. I think it was on the plane ride here. Somebody at security needed to go through my bag and on the flight. And I said something about Ninja Warrior because they were like going through my stuff and they're like, oh, you're on Ninja Warrior? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh. They like gave me my bag back instantly. And they're like, oh, I trust you. You're not lying.
That's amazing.
And I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not lying, but it's not just because I'm a ninja. Like, I don't know.
That's why you gotta wear the badge proudly and not do bad sketchy things.
Right.
Yeah.
Sketchy things is fine.
Sketchy things is a relative word.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing sketchy things, sorry about earlier.
Is that the one you threw at me?
No.
Okay.
No, it was literally just like crumpled up napkins in the bag that I threw.
Oh, okay. I was like, dang.
Because I called your name like 5 times.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I got my speaker bumping on my motorcycle.
It's totally fine.
And I'm also deaf because of that. Like planes and motorcycles, very loud things.
That's true.
Deafened myself.
Yeah.
Not by choice.
Don't do that. Although I could teach you sign language because I do love sign language.
I would love, I want to. I just met Kyle Schultz, the deaf ninja. He's so sweet, and I want to like say stuff to him.
That's what everyone says, literally. That's everyone's exact reaction. And I'm always like, I can teach you things to say to him, and then he'll be surprised.
Yeah, right?
And then, love you even more.
Yeah. I think he loves everyone anyway, so it's easy.
Oh, he loves the ninja community.
I know. He's so cute. So sweet. Yeah.
What's ironic is he can't hear this podcast right now. So I'll have to
dictate the whole podcast.
Yeah, I'll need to make sure I have the summary up online, the transcription and the YouTube video. But I do love deaf people. For all of you listening who might not have known yet, I am a sign language interpreter, and I do love the deaf community.
Oh, that's sweet.
Anyways, so can you tell me about a time? First of all, I usually always start the podcast like this, and I forgot. But what's been your high point, low point? So high point of today being the best thing that's happened today. Low point being the not so best thing that's happened today.
Ooh, there's so many good moments. Oh, I guess it's got, always a high moment, which I could always repeat on a day-to-day basis, is that, so I ride a motorcycle, I'm a pretty athletic person, and I like to do this move that I'm going to put on a t-shirt too, where if I'm riding around like 30 miles per hour, so the bike kind of is like naturally balanced, I sit with my knees on top of the seat, and then I lift one of the legs. So it's like, it looks like a yoga pose.
Right.
So I do that, and I do it like in relatively safe, like locations where it's a straight shot. There's not going to be anyone running into me. And I always do it next to like a certain car that looks like the dude that's like had a really rough day, or a chick that has a really rough day. And then they're just like, their jaw drops, and then they're just like in awe. And I do it too fast for them to take their phone out and record me. So they just got to appreciate that moment in that moment.
That's so awesome.
I do that almost on a daily basis, especially across like when it's like an intersection and the cars on the other side, or there's a bunch of cars. I like doing that.
And that's on your t-shirt, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna put it on my t-shirt, so it's fun. So that was definitely my high point, and I'm awesome that I could repeat that every day. And my low point is just I just finished filming American Ninja Warrior Jr., and it's been really cool that I've been living out of a hotel for 2 weeks, staycation, even though I live in LA. But my place is a mess now, because I just turned over my luggage, and now it's spread across the whole thing. There's a lot of filthy laundry, and this kind of goes into me being a control freak and like a little bit OCD with cleanliness. So I when I came back after running errands, I just stood there. I was like, "This is disgusting," and I verbalized that to myself.
Wow.
And then I got sweaty. So there's certain things that make me anxious, is like flying birds, condensation, and like dirty rooms.
Wow.
It's a random mix, I know, but that's for a different story.
I had to really listen on that one.
But those are my 3 pet peeves for sure.
Wow. So did your clothing like hide its face in shame when you said that out loud in your room, or like what?
Yeah, things quivered quickly.
The socks are
like, oh shit. I'm sorry, we're sorry. But you made us this way.
We're soaked with your sweat.
What people don't know about the podcast is that we're mimicking socks with our hands, and we're quivering it.
Wiggle arms. Anyways. Let me recompose myself, and I'll ask you the next question. So I want to know about your personal life. But I want to go back, like way back. So like when you were a kid, did you ever imagine that you'd be doing what you're doing today?
No. Oh gosh, I don't know. It was always tricky because, and also who I am today is my goals fluctuate a lot. I think that kind of goes into not being so disappointed when you don't achieve a certain goal. But as long as you keep like hustling towards something more positive, and you're working towards something. And as a kid, I really didn't know what my big goals were, just because I felt like I was so controlled by my parents that they were defining the goals for me. And a lot of it because my freedom was tied to if they could let me out of the house or not. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I appreciate about the online community and what YouTube did for me, because it got me out of my room, even though I was still in my room. I could be creative. I could be like open-minded. I could just speak my own words in front of a camera. And I had this whole community behind me. And it was crazy building that to over 100,000 subscribers. And a lot of it was just positivity. You know, you always have the trolls, but I genuinely put myself out there for the person I am, and I didn't do like pranks, or I didn't post things just for the viralness of it. I would really just like, love to share my life with people. And it was kind of like that storytelling that I always appreciated. So like as a kid, I always just wanted to do something where I get to share my life. And I don't know. Yeah, it's great. But this, how it is now, the whole ninja thing, and then just like being on TV and then like traveling, it's freaking awesome. And if I knew this is what I'm going to do when I'm a kid, I'm just going to be like, grow up. I want to grow up already, because right now is so awesome.
Oh, that's cool. When I was little, I wanted to be a Dalmatian when I grew up.
Cool.
Yeah, because I was like obsessed with animals and very imaginative.
You wanted to be a physical Dalmatian?
I wanted to be like, whoop, whoop, like a Dalmatian.
That sounds like you could get into like some weird fetish things with that. You could still be a Dalmatian if you want to.
I'll keep that in mind. Okay. Well, after that, I wanted to like be a veterinarian. Mm-hmm. I said that word weird. Veterinarian.
Yeah.
Wanted to be a veterinarian.
Say vet. I want to be a vet.
Want to be a vet. Then I also wanted to train animals, and then I wanted to be a sign language interpreter, and then I did that.
That's cool.
Yeah. But I would have never really... I always loved sports and loved fitness, and I've done that like my whole life, but I never would have imagined ninja.
Right.
So I just love it. I love how life takes you when you're willing to just go for new opportunities and like
100%.
Dream big.
And that's what I like to always talk to people about when they ask like advice on like Instagram or something like that. Like do something until it keep trying different things until it sparks something deep inside of you. And that's what climbing was to me, is that I went to the gym. I didn't like weights. Running sucked. But then the first day of rock climbing, my hands were bleeding. My forearms were on fire. I woke up in the morning the sorest I've ever been in my life. Couldn't eat hot food or brush my teeth because I couldn't open the microwave, and I couldn't squeeze toothpaste on my toothbrush. But something about climbing, I was like, I need to do this all the freaking time. And I think it's finding those kind of moments make it worth it.
Mm-hmm. So how else has climbing or ninja changed you then?
I think more than just the physicality of it, I think it's the reason why I'm just a generally happy person is making the conscious decision where I'm only going to surround myself by positive people. You know, try to cut off the relationships of people that always like to talk negatively about people, instances, things, and just surround myself by just really influential people has been a big reason why I kind of live a happy life.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool to hear.
Yeah. I think that's, being a positive person, it sounds really easy, but you don't realize how much, you know, like you talk about negative things. Like when you talk about people or just like bad instances on a daily basis. And then you can't avoid it when some people talk about it, but it's always just kind of segueing the conversation away from that, or just, you know, transition makes a huge difference, because kind of bad conversation, negative thoughts always brush off of people really easily is what I find what it is.
Yeah, and I feel like people don't realize how different you feel when you're like talking and living in a positive space versus a negative space. I don't think you really realize the difference until you've really tried it. Mm-hmm. And I know I feel so different when I'm just hanging out with my positive friends versus like
totally
ones, not even like ones that are super negative, but ones that live in a very mundane space.
Right.
There's such a difference between like people going after life or people that are just kind of like meh.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for women? Like whether they're Ninja Babes listening to this podcast or just like womankind in general. Like I know one thing we were talking about earlier was just like kind of being proud of your strength. And
100%. And I think it's, you know, overcoming insecurity, which is not caring what people think about you. Because with the transition of me being like an athlete is that I was really skinny before. Mm-hmm. So skinny, and I had such high metabolism that I was almost like anorexic looking, but not by choice. Like my parents would make me drink Ensure just so I could like get fat on my body. But I realized when I started climbing, that was what made me even healthier, because I started to eat more, because I was working out more, and I just developed muscle mass, which sounds cool, but it changed my body so dramatically. I got really buff arms, and then when I started YouTubing, or I was YouTubing at the time, and there was a transition where I just look at my old videos and to where my videos were when I started climbing. There was always trolls that would be like, you look like a man, you need to stop working out. And it got to me for sure, because I would always dress really girly and I would look myself in the mirror. I'm like, my arms don't fit what I thought I always looked like. And that was kind of like a big depressive moment of like, you know, should I stop doing something I love just because people are always trolling me all the time? But that was kind of like those first decisions of being like an adult and dealing with these kind of issues. And thankfully trying to be a part of the movement saying that, you know, buff is the new black, you know, and it's strong women is a thing. And I want to like influence people to be like strong, and not only mentally, but physically too.
Absolutely. Was there a point during that transition that that it got to you that you felt like, oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe it is bad that I have muscles. Like, did you feel less pretty or like less of Natalie? Like, you know what I mean? Did you ever struggle with that?
I think it was just more like shifting my lifestyle.
Okay.
You know, like just consciously being proud of where I'm at. You know, building all these muscles is a thing that I've worked hard towards, and my muscles gets me up climbing walls, and it's freaking cool. And it's not, I didn't like muscles just the way they looked because I'm not a bodybuilder, but it opened up my world to so many different things, like climbing outdoors and in competitions and stuff like that. So it was more of an afterthought that I got all these strong muscles, but I just love the movement of climbing.
Yeah. When I started Ninja about 2 years ago, I was always like extremely skinny, and just, I kind of went through like a journey of trying to be really skinny and then like not trying but still being skinny because that was just my body type. But I was doing a lot more modeling probably like 2 and 3 years ago. And then when I started Ninja and I started getting arms, like designers didn't want me anymore. And there were some that were like into fitness and like thought it was great that I looked so strong, and some that were just like, you're too big, you can't now.
And so that's rough because that world is like, you are being defined of how you look.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's weird because, like, there was a point where I'd realize that none of my clothes fit anymore because my butt was, like, larger, like, my shoulders, like, biceps, like, shirts
couldn't fit shirts.
Yeah. Or the annoying thing where, like, the top button just would keep popping open because now I have, like, broader. So, like, that was really weird for me to deal with mentally because I was just like, I know I'm proud of myself. I know I'm proud of my strength, but it's just weird that
you're
I
just
feel
a different
bigger.
person. Yeah. Physically, you're a different person. Mentally, you just got to catch up to that.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you said, like catching up to it. Because now it's just like, I'm so proud of who I am. And I'm so, it's like you said, like being able to see what you can do. Like,
totally.
This body can climb that wall or do those pegs for however many laps. Like just little things like that I never would have expected from myself until I could prove to myself that I could do it. And now it's like my confidence and my self-expectation is like through the roof compared to what it used to be. But it's like I would never have thought that I was a person with low self-confidence. It was just that my idea of what my self-confidence could be was small compared to now realizing what I'm capable of.
It's just the transitions. I think that's what people say, like people don't change. People for sure change.
Oh yeah.
People change physically. People, you know, change their lifestyle, and I think it's just being fluid with that is very key to it.
And it's cool too, just I think Ninja really puts you in a place where you're forced to try new things and to open up your mind. And that's how people change, is when they really put themselves out there. I think that too much in life, like people don't really put themselves in a situation that they're forced to change or forced to try new things.
Get out there, do crazy things, or, you know, baby step it. And I think a lot of things, especially like with climbing, and that's why I love doing women's workshops, is that it is an intimidating sport. Ninja also is a very intimidating sport. It's still male dominated, but when you get a squad together of girlfriends that are there to support you, or doing all these little workshops that are like women specific, it could change your life, because you know, sometimes you could do you never thought you're capable of. And those are the moments that are the most magical and sometimes change your life for the better.
Yeah, absolutely. I have some Ninjababes workshops coming up in Jersey.
Oh, sick.
Like August, September.
Nice.
Yeah, but I'm really excited to start building more of the sisterhood, like in my neighborhood where I'm at. And it's cool too, like there's so many, you know, parents that bring their kids to ninja camp and whatnot at like high exposure climbing, different ninja gyms by me. And it's cool now to like see the moms realize that like, hey, I can do this too.
Oh, the moms. Yeah, for sure.
I love it. It's really exciting.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram and ninja_Natalie for kind of like all the updates of the events I'm going to be teaching for workshops, but also like just the random crap I post on a day-to-day basis that I think is hopefully pretty entertaining, because it kind of ties into not caring what people think, is that I post whatever the heck I want.
You always have an adventure on your story.
Oh, always an adventure. Yeah, I think that's a secret too. Always keep yourself an adventure. I always sometimes force myself out of my condo, even though I'm very comfortable there. I would force myself out just to explore the city, explore new things. And sometimes I've met the most amazing people just because I ran into them trying to like go to the beach or something like that.
Totally. Mm-hmm. Are you a morning person, or do you just...
Yeah, I am. Isn't that crazy too? Okay. Ooh, I think that contributes a lot to it. I wake up every day at 7 in the morning on the dot. It's ridiculous. Which I don't know how to share with you guys how to do that. It's just a weird thing that I'm blessed that I have. But just like get out there, surround yourself by positive people, always seek adventure in the outdoors and the cityscapes, and find something that excites you from within.
Yeah, those are great words. Thank you so much for sharing, Natalie. Yeah. Thanks for being a part of Ninja
Oh, we're going to hug now. We're going to hug right now.
Also, I have something for you.
Stop it.
Not stopping. Okay, which would you like? I almost want to make you guess, but I want you to be able to choose, so...
What do you mean choose what? I have no idea what's happening.
You're getting a present. That's what's happening.
Yay! It was my birthday, like, yesterday, too. For those who don't know, I'm a Leo.
Okay, I'll just let you choose, because it's either going to be a Ninjababes hat.
Yeah!
Or a tank or a t-shirt.
Oh, my gosh.
You choose.
Oh, my gosh.
Ninja Natalie. You choose.
These are so cute. Oh, my God, this shirt is so cute. These are great new shirts, because these are the new designs, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. You know what? I just lost a hat recently.
What? Oh
my God, I love it.
So cute.
Hat.
Okay, chosen.
Yay! Thank you.
You're welcome. And hey, September is right around the corner. I know so many of us are really excited for the National Ninja League competitions to start. There's so many other comps going on, local comps at your gyms, so definitely check out gyms in your area. I'm excited to see everybody and to hang out and just to have some good times at the competitions. So if you're at comps or training with your buddies, take some pictures and send them on over to Ninjababes. I would love to share your group photos or your photos of you doing something awesome. I'd love to share your story and who you are and just spread that Ninjababe love. So send them on over to theninjababes@gmail.com, or you can just direct message me and send them to me right there on Instagram or Facebook. Thank you so much for listening to the Ninjababes podcast. If you like this episode, go ahead and leave us a review on iTunes. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out all the videos on the YouTube channel. You can subscribe there as well. And just give us a shout out, leave some comments. I love hearing from everybody. You guys are awesome. Keep kicking it. Talk to you soon.
Love it.
You can take a drink of water.
I feel like I need a burp too.
I think you had a moment.
I did. I think I got it out though.